Having taken a break from ketamine, due to having developed a high tolerance to this substance over the course of many a session with it, I decided it was once again time to indulge this most intriguing substance. And so I purchased a hefty looking gram of Special K, along with some nice juicy nuggets of bud, when it was onward back home to rekindle my love of ketamine. Unable to find my preferred game case to rack up on, that being GTA Vice City, I chopped up 5 frosty looking lines on my GTA San Andreas case and then looked upon my handiwork with wonderment, for these were some fat lines. After this, I inspected the bud, which smelled every bit as pungent as you might expect it to, and was conveniently divided into densely packed nugs, which were just the right size for my bong. With the sun setting in the background, as I placed my bong on the windowsill, I rail a line of ketamine and immediately fire up my bong afterwards, blazing through a whole nugget in 3 strong tokes. Immediately afterwards, I experience feelings of tranquility and peace rising up in me, as the THC gets to work untying the knots in my mind. In the meantime, I lay down on my bed, find one of my favourite videos to listen to on my laptop, this being the Book of Enoch, and pressed play. Then, I close my eyes, and behold, for there is a portal before me, a swirling vortex of vibrant psychedelic fractals, twisting and crisscrossing at the same time, and forming a sort of tesseract, such as which I have likened unto an infinite corridor or wormhole. And then, although I am laying still on my bed, I feel as if I am levitating off my bed, succumbing to the gravity of the K-hole, and finally entering into it. And I can see fractals dividing into mountains and valleys, organising into vivid dreamscapes which I flew over like a bird. For it's ketamine which gives you wings, and not Red Bulls you have heard. These visions, comprised of fractals, such which were arranged in an intelligent manner, creating complicated sceneries, consisting namely of mountains, valleys and trees, were constantly undergoing metamorphosis into ever more diverse states of arrangement, as if I were watching infinity dividing in on itself. So impressed was I by this marvel, that I gave thanks to God and praised him, saying, "Oh, how fearfully and how wonderfully you have made me, Lord, having placed a thing as awesome as eternity into my heart, and having given me this mind to understand it with." And I continued to traverse through the K-hole, feeling strongly detached from my physical body, experiencing strong sensations of movement, as if I were swooping down low through crevices, and then ascending upwards once again on invisible draughts, able once again to observe a dramatic dreamscape unfolding below me. All the while I was aware of passing through a tunnel, likened unto a tesseract, which would assume different forms according to the nature of the hallucination, morphing sometimes into ravines and valleys, and other times into corridors and roads. And then it seemed to me that just as soon as the trip had begun, all sense of motion ceased, the visuals dissolved into nothingness, and I exited the K-hole after spending about 10 minutes in there. Therein, in my mind, the addictive nature of ketamine can be understood, for a form of astral travel is achieved easily when using it, but is so short-lived that users may feel inclined to repeat doses over and over again, becoming psychologically dependent on the drug in the process. And I myself was no exception to this rule for a while, but have long since learned that this is a drug which is best reserved for infrequent use. That is, if the exploration of the glorious and mysterious K-hole is to remain a novel experience to the user of ketamine. For now, it is tied with methoxphenidine as my favourite dissociative, but I would love to sample PCP and methoxetamine to see how they compare, and I intend on doing just that later this year. So new experience reports will be forthcoming as and when I'm able to achieve these objectives. As always, I advise practicing harm reduction techniques when using drugs recreationally, including informing yourself of and then avoiding dangerous combinations, and always abiding by the recommended dosages which can be found on websites such as Erowid, Tripsit and Psychonaut Wiki, which I have provided links to in the information section below this video. This is Enigma saying God bless you, and peace out for now.